Hi Hampton, thanks so much for joining me. Today I will be reading chapters 30 through 32 from our One District, One Book, Save Me a Seat. Friday, pizza. Chapter 30, Joe. Do you want to ride to school this morning? Mom asks. She's dressed and already wearing her apron. There's a flash of lightning followed by a boom of thunder. Sure, I tell her, looking out the window at the dark sky. I'll take a ride. I tip my glass up and drink the last of the strawberry banana smoothie she made me for breakfast. No huevos rancheros, just a smoothie and 2 bowls of Cheerios, like normal. Dad comes into the kitchen. There's a piece of tissue stuck to his chin where he cut himself shaving. Did you tell him yet? He asks my mother. Tell me what? I ask nervously. I'm quitting my job, Mom says. You don't have to do that, I tell her, even though I hope it's true. It's a done deal, she says. I tell her, even though it's a done deal, she says. I already gave my notice. Today will be my last day. Don't we need the money, I ask? I'll find something else, Mom says. To be honest, I'm not crazy about the job anyway. When I suggested to the kitchen staff that maybe we could change up the menu a little, offer some healthier options like quinoa or tofu or something, they looked at me like I was crazy. I laugh. I'm happy to eat tofu and quinoa, but I'm even happier to eat chicken fingers and hamburgers. If my mother really isn't going to be the lunch monitor anymore, that means lunch can go back to being my favorite subject at school. Woohoo! There's another flash of lightning. Guess we're going to need our raincoats, Mom says. Game on. 7 o'clock tonight, Dad reminds me. We're still on, right? Game 1. 7 o'clock tonight, Dad reminds me. We're still on, right? Are you kidding, I say. Big Poppy is going to bring it home for the socks. You think I want to miss that? When I go upstairs to brush my teeth, I find Mia hiding under the bed. She's afraid of thunderstorms. Don't worry, Mimi, I tell her, reaching under the bed to give her head a pat. Joey, my mother calls, hurry up. The roads are going to be slick and I don't want to be late. I give Mia one more pat, grab my backpack, and run downstairs. All set, Mom asks, handing me my raincoat. She's got hers on already. One sec, I tell her. I go into the kitchen, open the cupboard, and take out a small glass bowl, like the one my mother had put the chopped cilantro in the day before. What's that for? She asks as she watches me shove the bowl into my pocket. It's for an assignment, I tell her. I promise I'll bring it back. What's the assignment? She asks. I'll explain in the car. When I tell my mom what I'm doing for my personal reflection project, she starts to cry. This time, for a change, it's the happy kind of crying. You are one terrific kid, she says. Do you know that? Believe it or not, I feel like I kind of do. I'm in a pretty good mood by the time we get to school. It doesn't hurt that Friday is pizza day at Einstein, my favorite school lunch of all. As we turn in the driveway, out of nowhere, this dark red minivan comes speeding around the corner and almost cuts us off. Watch out, my mother cries, honking the horn. The driver of the minivan honks back and doesn't even slow down. She just zooms past all the cars, waiting to drop the kids off, then cuts in front of the line and parks sideways so nobody can get past. A dark-haired woman in a long blue dress jumps out, holding the biggest umbrella I've ever seen in my life. It's really pouring now. As my mom and I run across the parking lot together, jumping over puddles, the woman in the blue dress hurries around to the other side of the minivan and opens the sliding back door. A minute later, a little kid in a funny-looking red hat gets out. He's so small, at first I think he's in first grade or something. But when he turns around and I see the way he pushes up his glasses with his thumb, I know right away who it is. Chapter 31, Ravi. As my mother and I walk towards the front door together under our big umbrella, I notice Bigfoot crossing the street with a tall woman in a yellow coat. The wind blows her coat open and I recognize the apron she's wearing. She's one of the workers in the lunchroom, a person they call the lunch monitor. Could this be Bigfoot's mother? Suddenly, I remember the cartoon Parima had found in my backpack. I'm Stupid's mommy. The person who drew the cartoon was insulting Bigfoot's mother, just as he insulted mine. Are you listening? Asks Amma, pulling at the chin of my monkey cap to straighten it. I made curd rice for your lunch today. I know, Amma, you told me. Wait, let me finish. I made curd rice, but I checked the school menu. The option for today is pizza. It's vegetarian, so she unties a knot at the end of her palu. Inside are 2 paper notes and 2 25-cent coins. I thought you might want to eat school lunch today like the others. I want to, 1, throw my arms around Amma and give her a big kiss. 2, tell her she is the best mother in the world. 3, show her the page in Bud, not Buddy, where Bud says he carries his mama around inside him all the time. But here is what I do instead. 1, thank Amma for the lunch money. 2, look around to make sure no one is watching. 3, give her a quick hug. Amma, Parima, and Paripa are waving to me as they drive away. I watch until the maroon Odyssey disappears over the hill and I can't see them anymore. Today, I was feeling like a complete failure. But yesterday, I was feeling like a complete failure. But today, as I walk into Albert Einstein Elementary School, I feel like the luckiest boy in the world. Chapter 32, Joe. Dylan Samreen jumps out of a black Mercedes 3 cars down the line. It has one of those vanity license plates you have to pay extra for. It says, "Envy me." Inside, I can see his mother looking in the mirror on the back of the sun visor as she puts on her lipstick. My mom only wears lipstick when she's going out to a party. She looks better without it. The wind is blowing and it's really pouring now. Everybody is honking their horns because Ravi's mom's minivan is blocking traffic. Ravi's mom's minivan is blocking traffic. "Do you need your plugs?" my mother asks me. I shake my head. I'm okay. "Pop the trunk, Mom," Dylan shouts, banging his fist on the roof of the black Mercedes. "Mom, are you deaf? I said pop the trunk." The trunk finally opens and Dylan leans in and pulls out a big cardboard box. He wraps his arms around it and walks away without bothering to close the trunk. Mom and I look at each other. Then I run over and close the trunk. Mrs. Samreen doesn't say anything. She just flips her visor back up and drives away. "Have I already told you that I think you are one terrific kid?" my mom says a minute later as we walk through the front door. She heads off to the cafeteria and I start walking down the hall toward room 506. Ravi is walking in front of me. He has pulled off his weird red hat and is trying to comb his hair down flat with his fingers. It's not working too well. Dylan Samreen is standing by the door when we get there. "Morning, ladies," he says, flashing one of his evil crocodile grins. "Welcome back." We both ignore him. Ravi goes straight to his desk. I notice he's carrying a small package wrapped in the same kind of brown paper his math notebook was covered with. I put my hand in my pocket and feel the little glass dish. It had seemed like such a good idea when I told my mom about it in the car, but now I'm not so sure. What if nobody gets it? "Before we begin, boys and girls," Mrs. Beam announces, "I'd like for you to place your personal reflection objects on your desks and bring your explanation cards up here and put them in the basket." There's no turning back now. I hang up my raincoat and carry the glass dish over to my desk. Then I dig around in my backpack until I find the plastic bag containing my object. I had picked it based on its perfect shape and color. After examining it carefully to make sure it hadn't cracked or chipped on the way to school, I put it in the dish and take the index card with my sentence written on it up to Mrs. Bean. "I'm looking forward to seeing what you brought today, Joe," she says as I drop my card into the basket. Then she smiles at me. I don't know why, but there is something about that smile that gives me hope. Maybe Mrs. Beam will like the idea I came up with for my object. Maybe she'll realize that I'm not really a pain in the neck who doesn't pay attention. Maybe she'll even write something nice about me on my report card at the end of the year, the way Mr. Barnes did. But apparently none of those maybes are supposed to happen, at least not to me, because when I get back to my seat, the little glass dish is empty. Well, thanks so much for reading with me today. I can't wait to see what happens next with Ravi and Joe.